Are you ready for cocktails and conversation? Are you ready for cocktails and conversation? Are you ready for cocktails and conversation? With your host, the unapologetic diva, Dr. G, the girlfriend therapist, Dr. Cortina Lewis, and the networking extraordinaire, Diana Richardson Philippus. Are you ready for cocktails and conversation? This is Herspiration Happy Hour. Happy Wednesday. Welcome back to another episode of Herspiration Happy Hour. Look, yeah, I almost kind of lost my track of things. This is season 8, episode 7. And this is your unapologetic diva, Dr. G.
This is your Diana Richardson, the networking extraordinaire.
And your coach of courage, Shay Walker.
And Dr. Lewis will be joining us shortly. Of course, as a therapist, some sessions run over, so she will be with us momentarily, and then she'll share our drink because she is our residential bartender. Unless, we did find out on the last one that we have 2 bartenders up in the house. So, do you want to throw a drink out there? Or do we want to wait for Cortina?
Nope, I'll totally throw one out there. It's my infamous. Everyone knows me by this drink. I am unapologetic about the title. It is called Coochie in a Cup. It is absolute peach with peach schnapps, a little sprinkle razzle dazzle of our red grenadine with a little Sprite, a little lemonade, and to top it with a Grand Marnier and some peaches and a orange rim. Absolutely.
Well, and what's it called again?
It's Coochie in a Cup.
Coochie in a Cup.
That's what it's called.
Well, I've never heard of that. I'm kind of speechless. You over there like
Coochie in a cup.
Coochie in a, which I mean, it's really fitting with our conversation on no pause on sex. So coochie in a cup it is for today's. And it sounds like it's sweet. So I probably, this wouldn't be something that I would have. However, you all go try it.
Surprising enough, it's very balanced. It's not overly sweet. It's not. Okay. You get it's not. It's yeah.
So next time we're together, I'm gonna be like, girl, look here, let me try this coochie in a cup.
I totally will hook you right on up.
That would probably be the only time in my life I'm asking for some coochie is for a drink.
I tell you what, that drink is very, very popular amongst the male community there in Atlanta, in the city of Atlanta. They absolutely love a good old coochie in a cup.
Oh, really? Yeah, I'm about to ask Steve-O, do you want some coochie in a cup? He gonna say, excuse me.
He might say, and make sure you ask if he want a salt rim or sugar rim.
You get a rim choice.
Sugar rim, baby.
Absolutely, you sure can.
And you know what? That's definitely gonna have to tell Jay that, like, hey, I'm gonna make you a coochie in a cup, and then I'll give you some extra coochie later that you can.
This is good stuff.
It has started early. We have started early.
And I can't even say I've been drinking. So I have apparently not had, I've had like a little bit of a beer, but this conversation was crunk from last week. So I'm still there. I'm still there. But you know what? We had said we were going to continue on the conversation, or I'm just missing a whole round robin. I'm so sorry. Diana, how's your week been?
Well, it has been very good. It's been fast moving, but that's typical. Productive. Yeah. Look, yeah.
Okay.
What is today? It's only Wednesday, but yes, we're weeking. The week is weekend.
The week is definitely weeking. I could tell you that. How's your week, Shay?
It is week. WEAK, week. The week has weakened me. Okay. I've buckled. Okay. Like I'm done with this week. I'm just ready to get to Sunday so that I can get my refill because I've had enough this week already. But in it all, very grateful because that you remember the old gospel song, I Won't Complain?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
I'm even mad at myself because I'm allowing myself to feel it this way, right? Because I won't complain. In it all, I am super grateful because things could be totally different and they are not. But yes, this has been a stretching week for me. Absolutely.
Well, listen, you don't have to wait until Sunday. You can just come on and join Bible study this evening. I'll send you the link. Just tap on in because I can't wait to Sunday. I'll be in there on Wednesdays. You hear me? I need a couple times a week.
I get my refill every morning. Y'all, I spend 2.5 hours in Bible study every morning.
Lord.
It's just absolutely necessary for my grounding. But yeah. So absolutely, I may just take you up on that.
All right.
Diana. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I spend a good bit of time in meditation and prayer in the mornings. And when I can't sleep at night before I go to bed, if I've not had any issues going to sleep lately, but I get up early. I still don't sleep all the way through the night. So I get up and that's my morning thing. I'm laying in bed. I'm going to be intentional about my time with God, my time with myself. And then of course, I have to look for the message that works for me to send out to my masses. Which tomorrow is going to be like, I think next week, Monday and Tuesday, nobody's getting anything because I'm going to be basking in the sun and recovering and just celebrating my 1-year anniversary that's coming up so fast.
Yeah.
So fast. And then we just took some really nice anniversary pictures. So, hey.
Listen, let's just lean in on this 1-year anniversary real good. Is everybody like really seeing the bling on Pam's finger? Is everybody getting that? Like let's celebrate the bling. Okay. Let's just celebrate the bling.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. It's beautiful.
It
yeah.
is.
1-year anniversary. That's crazy.
I know, 1-year anniversary and 11 and a half years together.
Wow.
Yeah, that's like major. I thought because
Wow.
and Diana and I was just having this conversation about never having spent this many years with someone, like consecutively, just in my space, in my orbit as a pivotal part of my life. I've never been with anyone like this long.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so
it is amazing. And just so we know, next week I'll be celebrating my 8-year anniversary and 13 years together. And that's how we ended up leaning into that conversation because I was like, dang, it doesn't feel like it's been that long. It really just feels like
it felt like I've been with this man for like 20 years.
I don't feel like that. It seems like we just met, and
I guess I look back at pictures and I'm like, damn, we've been together a long time. So it feels like a short time, but sometimes it feels like we've done this so long ago because we've done a lot in like over the last 11 and a half years.
I agree with, but all of you, that's great. All of us have an anniversary coming up because Alton and I, our 6th anniversary is March 1st. And we celebrate March 1st and March 2nd because we got our license on the 1st. And then we did our little beach ceremony with just the 2 of us on the 2nd. So we celebrate both days, but it's crazy because it's like, oh my God, it's been 6 years already. Where'd the time go? It's gone by so fast. And then that saying, time flies by when you're having fun. Like we have so much fun again. It's really been 6 years. Like it's really 6 years.
So what's so funny? That the parallels of different relationships that I've had, like my female friendships, Diana and I are literally one day for our anniversaries, our wedding anniversaries. Cortina, your official wedding date is August, right? When you all went to the courthouse to get married.
Not the gas.
I'm gonna tell you how I remember.
Yes, it's August 22nd.
Yeah.
Like,
So
wait a
August
minute.
22nd is the day that Jay and I met.
I was like, wait.
Oh.
Jay and I
Wow.
met August 22nd, 2013. So
And
it's
that's
so
my
funny that
sister's
me and
birthday.
her, our official dating time when we met was on Cortina's wedding day. Even though I know you remember just your main wedding in October, I was there.
No, I was trying to remember because I got married in August 2022, the 22nd, 2022, but I also defended September 22nd, 2022. So I always get, did I defend or did I get married? Because
No, you got married. I
different-
remember.
different-
I was like,
okay.
oh, you celebrate an anniversary when we
Yeah.
actually celebrate the anniversary of the day that we met. So, but that's just so weird. Like, oh my gosh, the two of my friends have very pivotal times around my relationship. So, yes. Yeah. So we was doing a quick round robin. You missed the drink. It was called Coochie in a Cup.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll save hot pea for next week.
Hot. Wait a minute. No, I want.
No, we need you to write
hot pea now.
Come
'Cause
on,
you got
Coochie
Coochie in a Cup and then hot pea.
We don't. I don't. Okay.
Hot pussy.
Oh.
Coochie in a
Look
Cup.
at us being twin flames today.
I was about okay. So
What
hot
is
pea, not
going
pea.
on? The power of
I
the
just said
vagina
pea,
monologue.
just so it can be politically correct.
Is it pussies? Isn't pussy a pussy? I mean, what is a
Well,
vagina?
I mean, you can actually say the.
Well, we said coochie in a cup, so we got
That's so funny.
we got hot pussy. So I need to know what's in hot pussy, so because I can know, because I'm telling you, Julius Clark will be getting served up some coochie in a cup, and now he getting ready to get some hot pussy, and then gonna get some hot pussy later.
Well, everyone, you know
Yes, I
that
shifted
Jay
my-
is
I done
definitely
shifted.
going to get the time
I done
tonight.
had to shift. I done shifted.
Okay. Well, y'all the one that came up with them
We
drinks.
should have known there was some trouble on the line tonight when this hair is leaning to the side and
Look, y'all the one that came up with them drinks. I'm just saying. It's not
right.
our anniversaries are coming up, so it's gonna be it's hot pussy gonna be going. It's on.
It's
It
just
has
hot.
to.
So basically, the hot pussy shot is 1 ounce peach schnapps, 1 ounce cranberry juice, and then half an ounce of chili infused vodka with a dash of hot sauce.
How that taste?
Sounds like it tastes spicy and
It
good.
is spicy.
Spicy, but the
It
peach
is
schnapps
spicy.
is throwing me off a little bit. Does the chili drown out?
So what it is a mix of sweet and fiery flavors.
Oh.
Yeah.
Dang, I wish y'all lived closer so I could just be like.
We're gonna have to run that. Cortina, go ahead and type that in the chat so we can.
You have like a mango habanero sauce, like
You could do that. You could probably switch it for that as well.
But no, I'm just saying, like when you mix those two, like the sweet and
like
the
that
and the
sweet
flame, yeah, that's what it
I
reminds
love me
me
a
of.
mango
I had the-
habanero wing.
Yeah, and you know what? That's the only reason why I know, because you're the only person I know that I've ever heard about the mango habanero. So,
And if you want to get, fancy with it, you can rim the glass with chili powder.
No.
what about
What is
tahini? What about
You
tahini?
could do
Yes.
You could do that too. You could do that too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's on and popping.
Ooh.
I'm gonna ask Sibo if he wants some coochie. See, I'm about to text him.
No,
Hey,
watch he gonna come in there like, yes,
Hot pussy.
I do.
Which one?
He goes, no, he'll be like, whatever.
Child, look
'Cause
here.
at this
Jay
point,
would
he'd
be
be
like
like,
both.
You ain't doing nothing. You ain't doing nothing.
No.
Oh my gosh. So look. Okay, then we got the okay.
Mhm.
Jay, you might want to throw yours.
I am, Mama.
In
I
there.
was thinking the same
What? What happened?
It all went very well with the theme for today. I mean, and technically it says no pause on sex because we was talking about perimenopause as being a woman, and then we got on the topic of perimenopause and how it affects your body and sex and all of those things. And then we kind of was deep in a conversation, so we had to bring the conversation back, but where we left off. And so we had left off where I was asking about the question as in, what's the best age to start exploring your body? I mean, I didn't really get to know my body until I was in my 30s, I had shared. And then just being more open to experimenting with sex and your body or toys or whatever it is. And then, Cortina, you were saying that parents should be more open to have this dialogue, even though I was thinking of 18 and up or 19 and up. But I think it's very taboo that at that age, if you've never had that open conversation or the openness to understand sex, sexuality, your body, and all of those other things, that you probably are relying on someone else to pleasure you, and you might not even really understand your body and what really pleasures you. Right. So yeah, so we can kick off the conversation with where we left off, besides the coochie in a cup and the hot pussy that's being served up for drinks today.
All of that.
Look, where do we want to start off? And I'm so glad you're not in your room, Diana, to pull out the jar.
I didn't even think about that, because I do we need to show the coconut oil?
No,
again?
We do not need to show the coconut oil. No, we can do.
We're out. We need to go get
keep
some
it on
more.
the nightstand. Keep it on the nightstand.
I'm just. Do you ladies remember the book? Well, my mom, she bought this book for me when I was young. What's Happening to My Body book for girls. Do you remember that book?
I think they have one for boys too.
Yeah, they have it for boys. Yeah, and girls. And so I remember my mom buying this book for me. I was a late bloomer. I didn't get boobs until I was 13. I didn't get a cycle until I was 12. And so when these things started happening, I remember riding my bike, and you know how you slip on the pedal and you fall on the seat of your, and I was like, oh my God, it hurt so bad. So I ran home with the bike and I ran in the house. I was like, Mommy, I hurt myself. And I'm telling her I hurt myself down there. And she, my mom, she's a looker. Like, so she wants to check you. Like, my mama, lay back. Let me see what's going on. She was one of them kind of mamas that just violate you. Don't care. But I understand.
Yeah.
Got in the shower and I saw the water started to turn pink. And I'm like, well, what's happening? I knew I had injured myself. So I'm screaming, Mom, come in. And she's checking me out, making sure that everything is good. And she was like, wait a minute. No, I think you got your cycle. And she had been giving me the talks, but I just wasn't. We didn't think that's what it was at that time because I hadn't gotten it, but it was my cycle. And I just remember her being on the phone, calling everybody. Oh my God, Shava's got her period. I'm like, what kind of shit show is this? Who does that? Like, oh. But anyway, the next day she had bought that book for me, and I got the book, and I love to read. And so I remember reading that book, and I remember just being I just felt so, oh my God, seeing all of the little girls in there, because the bodies are changing and they go through the different age gaps when you get certain things. And then the lady lay back with her legs wide open and you seeing straight through her vagina. I was like, oh,
that's a lot.
This deep. Like, this is, don't think I'm really ready for this. And so that was my intro. Like, that was the whole real introduction for me to identify what was happening to my body. And then I started wanting to read more. So then I ended up reading the whole book. And what was interesting enough, like, that book was very informative. You get a lot of information, the feelings, even understanding if you're getting a little moody. It tells you about PMS symptoms and cramps. And so that book actually taught me how to identify, like, be in tune with what was going on with my body, identify things that were happening so that I wouldn't overreact. It really helped me, like, find a really fine line of balance, not to freak out when things were happening. Your little nipples get sore and all those things. And so very in tune, learning what not to use, what products. If you use like certain soaps and things, you get allergic reactions and all types of craziness. And so that book was the one that introduced me, just pushed me over into sink or swim when it came to understanding my vagina.
Do you want you want hot pussy or coochie in a cup?
What?
Do you want hot pussy or do you want some coochie in a cup?
Coochie in the cup. What's coochie in the cup?
That you want coochie in a cup?
What is that?
Which one do you want? Which one sound better? You want some hot
They
pussy?
both don't sound good.
Hot pussy don't sound good to you?
What you mean hot pussy?
Hot pussy. Do you want some hot
It could be
pussy?
hot pussy being been outside in the sun all day sweating. That's hot.
Get out. Get out. Basically, he's just said that's funky pussy, okay?
You know, this is a really good segment right here. This is real good. Where's Jay? Where's Jay?
He's not home.
Martina?
He's embarrassing me. Okay, he was supposed to be like, yeah. He's like, don't neither one of them sound good to me. I'm like, why?
They've been out in the sun.
He said in the sun. That don't sound good. Sweating all day. He's gonna go with coochie in a cup for 500, Alex. Okay, he's gonna go with coochie in a cup. Okay, at least it's not hot and funky.
Oh my God.
Since he's rolling with funky.
Oh my gracious. I have just, you know what?
Oh God. Coochie.
Leave it
That
to
was
him.
hilarious.
Now,
I need him to just be on board with just understanding the assignment.
Girl.
Do you
He's
want
right.
some
He
hot,
might be
like
like,
hot
you know,
pussy is
like-
like, hey.
Old school, you'd be like, okay, that thing hot. I don't know if I want it hot, like as in burning. I don't want that.
yeah, he took it away. You know,
He take it like
He's talking about in the sun sweating.
I would really have to call Jay and ask, and I'd be too terrified to hear what he would have to say. I would have to be like, I would have to be like, you are on. I'm live.
He probably gonna lead with what? Look, Miss People said, excuse me. What kind of- what-
Let me see. Watch.
Oh Lord Jesus.
Let's
He's
see.
gonna get some coochie in a cup.
Hold on, let me see if he answers.
Hold on, stay right there.
He know I'm podcasting, so he probably like, why is she calling me and she's potting?
He gonna call you right back.
Hold on. Like if you don't pick up, Martina,
He didn't answer.
Okay, so honey,
Alton.
Oh,
what
D,
Would you like some hot pussy or would you like coochie in a cup?
which one you want? Hot pussy or coochie in a cup?
What you want?
Hey, hold on a minute. Hold on.
Hot pussy or coochie in a cup?
Hold on, babe. So hey, I got a question.
Oh, coochie.
No, I know. So I got a question. Would you prefer coochie in a cup or hot pussy?
Just pick one.
What's hot pussy?
Coochie in a cup or hot pussy?
I'm lost. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I don't get
Just pick one. Which one would you prefer?
Pick one.
You want hot pussy? Okay, cool. We're talking about our drinks for the day.
Okay.
he understood the
He
assignment.
understood the assignment. Thank you, babe.
You want hot pussy?
Steve-O, come back in here.
Huh? Do you want coochie in a cup or do you want hot pussy? Which one sounds?
Hot pussy sound better, but I ain't like I need to get pussy in a cup.
Why does hot pussy sound better?
Who don't want some hot pussy? Pussy doesn't sound better.
You don't want coochie in a cup?
That don't sound like
What? D said hot pussy don't sound good because that sounds like something that's gonna get you fucked up, itching and scratching.
Alton said, who don't want some hot pussy?
Well, that's the round table of the husband.
Oh, we got two and two.
So Jay said hot pussy,
Yeah.
and Alton said hot pussy,
Yeah.
and D and Sibo said coochie in a cup.
Okay, so 2 and
So
2.
there we go.
And I got, see here, he blowing up my phone now. I'm pardoned. He already
He's like, well, when am I getting it? Am I getting it when should I be on my way right now? Like, is it being served up right now? Yeah.
That is too funny.
Oh,
That was hilarious.
Yeah, look, that's some liveness for y'all. The big
That was funny.
look, I'm so grateful that he understood the assignment. Now apparently he didn't understand the assignment because he keep calling me back. He probably like, when am I getting some hot pussy?
Right.
He told me,
But
do you
wait,
want me
Jay
to
was
come
like,
look,
I am,
text me, he said, do you want me to
so
come home
lost
now?
right now.
He said, "You want to come? You want to come
He
home
said, do you
now?"
want me to come home now?
Tell him yes, and then have his hot pussy in a cup waiting for him.
Oh gosh.
That was
And
funny.
not-
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Oh, that was funny.
I know, right?
I love unscripted moments, but you and Shay and Cortez, y'all did it, okay? Y'all started this.
I mean,
Yeah, well, I mean, for real, y'all really did start it, and so then we had to, when you asked Sibo, then we had to ask the other. We had to ask the other.
I was just intrigued to see what he would say, because my husband a little prudish, a little bit with stuff like he like hot pussy, coochie in the cup.
He had to think about it.
Yeah, he's like, I don't know, because he's not thinking of a drink.
No, not thinking about a drink when you say coochie in a cup and hot pussy.
Right.
None of them are
Alton
gonna
don't think it's coochie. Like he don't think. Like he serve it up. He don't care if it's coming fresh, hot off the. It don't matter. How
He said the light on. The light is on.
Like,
be. It's like the Dunkin' Donut sign.
yeah, he said we in this together. We just in this together. However you want to serve it, I'll take it. Like
Hey.
that's how he taking it. Like
I ain't mad at him. I ain't mad at him.
Let's hop back on topic really quick.
Okay.
So the real
Yes.
question was like, at what age? You know, Cortina's really question is for you. What age do you really get? Should you start experimenting with your body and all of those things? I mean, I know subconsciously some babies and kids do it and they're 1 and 2 years old and all that, but I'm talking like the matureness of, yeah.
So I think that's dependent on the child, right? And their understanding of it and how you support it, how you respond to it when you discover that it's already happening. Because more often than not, children are already involved and engaging in self-soothing behaviors before you even find out. So if you find out, it's been happening, right? So one of the examples that I like to use, I remember before I even moved to Orlando, so this had to be maybe like 2014. So Morgan was around 8. I remember even previously to 8, when she was 3, she knew about penises. Why? Because she made a mention of it. And so that was a teachable moment for me to distinguish between males and females. Females, we have this, because she was like, well, I don't have one, daddy has one, you know, the question. So I couldn't like ignore it because clearly she's asking about it. That was my teachable moment for me to have a conversation about the differences between females and males. Now, when she was around 5, primitive talks about like periods, at one point you're going to be able to, because kids are watching, right? They're knowing you're inserting things, pads, all these other type of things. At some point you're going to reach an age where you're going to have to do this. So I would say at least by the time they start asking, because you don't want to shush it away like, oh, don't worry about that. When it's time, you'll get there. No, if they're asking about it, they're curious about it. And you can't say, well, I don't want to give them too much to worry about. There are going to be other kids in their class that are going through things before they experience it, possibly. You want them to get correct, accurate information from you versus hearing it from somebody else who might be getting inaccurate information from their trusted adults or not trusted adults or what have you. So you want them to be equipped with the information that you are able to provide. I would say I probably was a little bit more liberal with information that I provided to Morgan because I was a sexual health educator. That was my job. That was my title. I went out and I educated individuals about their bodies, and I worked specifically with a program called Teen Time. So I was working with teenagers and elementary and preteens about, okay, where this is what's happening to your body. Now, one of the things when I would get with parents, so we know like nocturnal emissions, wet dreams, those tend to happen around that preteen age, or they're feeling themselves. And it's like, oh, well, when I stroke this way, oh, I discovered, oh, this feels nice. I like the way that this feels. I want to do more of that. Instead of reacting like, oh my God, don't do that. Now you've just added shame to the experience. You want to, I don't care how you screaming inside as a parent. You want to be able to ask them, okay, so how did you feel when you did that? It's not like we're trying to get into like a porn type conversation, but you want to ask them about their feelings. You want to be able to normalize for them. You're not weird. You're not strange. This is something that happens to the body. Boys, they get erections, right? That is what that is called, so that you know what it is. It's not your fault. You don't have to hide it if you have a nocturnal emission. Yes, it's something that's normal. It's common. It feels good. It's a normal part of growing up. One of the things also that we do is identify if you do know that you are having a child, let's just say a teenager, and they express to you that, you know, whether masturbating, they like the way it feels, you just let them know that there's a time and a place for that. And there are public things that we talk about, and there are personal and private things that we talk about. So we're not just going around openly with other kids talking about this. No, this is because you don't want to plant seeds in other kids' minds. So there's a time. So if this is what I'm talking about with my child, we don't want to have these types of conversations with other children, right? You see how, you know, you're having that conversation with mom, you're having that conversation with dad or a trusted adult. That's who we want to keep it with. And that's the key word, trusted adult, because there are some adults that we don't want to have these conversations with either. Absolutely. So we have to make sure that we are having those conversations as well, so they are aware, okay, these are the people that I can talk to about this if I have questions. And I would say to parents, if you are uncertain about how to answer something, don't just make up something, because kids are going to at some point find out, oh, they just lied to me. Now I can't even trust them. Be honest enough with them to be able to say, you know what, I don't know the answer to that, but let's figure it out together. What evidence has shown is that the more open you are with your children, the higher their trust for you goes. The more open and willing they're able to come to you when situations arise. So like, so going back to Morgan, and I think I shared this on here before. This is a little bit, she might not even remember this happens, but she was like around 3 and we had a detachable shower head. At some point she had this love for detachable shower heads because she would always want to hold it in, you know, it hit the right spot and be like, oh, this is, so it's not that it was sexual in her mind. It just felt good at that time. So I had to be very mindful of how often we was getting in the shower with a detachable shower head. So she was younger. So clearly, again, self-soothing, things that feel good. If something feels good, it's going to probably increase the likelihood of us to continue to engage in this behavior. Of course, I didn't tell her, girl, that is a form of masturbating. No, because she did not know that. We just had a conversation. Said, do you like that? Yeah, mommy. Can I get in the shower? Okay, we're going to take a bath. Okay, so then that was around the same time we had that conversation about what men have and what women have. When she was going into like when she was like, I would say 5, she was asking, she would see pads and everything at some point. So we just introducing these concepts. We're not going into detail. We're just introducing them because she's asking. As she's getting older, now we have an entire book. Now we're looking at, okay, she's already seen a penis. She know the difference. Now we're talking about anatomical parts. Okay, this is your labia. This is your clitoris. So we're starting out with her. Okay, we're not just going to call it a pocketbook. We're going to call it what it is, because we don't call our eyes our seers. We don't call our nose our smeller. We don't call our lips our tasters. We call them eyes, nose, lips. So we're talking about labia, labia minora, labia majora, our clitoral hood, our clitoris, our frenulum, our anus, all of the actual things, vaginal canal, uterus, fallopian tubes, ovaries, the crura that's inside. So we are teaching anatomically, this is what your anatomy is. Okay, now we're talking about scrotum, testicles, vas deferens, penis, foreskin, like the things, so that you are aware of what this is. Because how do you know how something is created if you don't know the parts that's used to do this? So it's like stair steps to the next level. Now, we're not talking about how babies are made yet. We're only talking about the anatomical part. So when it's time and we're feeling like, okay, she's curious, we need to go to the next level, we've already set the foundation. So we know where the sperm is created and where it's stored, right? We know where it's created, how it works, how it swims. It has to meet the egg. Oh yeah, mommy, okay, the egg is stored in the ovary. Absolutely, yes. And that's how you create a baby, when you are ready, when you are old enough. And so then that's when you talk about the economic part that comes into being able to care for a child, and how it's a huge responsibility. Every child is different. Some children are not able to handle those types of concepts because they're not emotionally mature enough to handle it at that time. Parents, that's why it's important to be in tune with your children, to know what they can handle and how much they can handle. The only way to know that is to have conversation and be in communication with them. If you just send them in the room to the iPads, you're not going to know what they know. You're not going to know, okay, well, should I tell them this? Should I wait? What should I do? And so that's and that's why when you ask me, like, at what age, that's very individually based, right? So without saying too much, at some point, Morgan was ready to share with me more stuff, right? I didn't get upset, just waiting on you to come tell me, okay? So, all right, what'd you think? What are your thoughts? Whatever it is that we're doing, is there safety involved? What's the risk? Now we're talking about what could be potential consequences, what could come from this. Are we ready to handle that? So it's not about shame, it's not about judgment, it's not about getting in trouble, because when you take those things away, the likelihood of them to continue to come back to you when they feel like, oh, I don't know, like this is what's happening, it increases. We don't want our children, our preteens, our teenagers, our young adults to have to go confide in somebody else because they feel like they either can't talk to you. And if they feel like, oh no, I don't want to disappoint my parents, at least they have someone in their life that they can go talk to. Like I know, for example, I know Morgan had a conversation with Pam at one point. Okay, great. You might be like, I want my mom to judge me or, be mad at me or whatever the thing is. If you have somebody in your life who your child is like, I want to talk to them first, kind of get like, because I know the expectations that my mom might have of me. Even if you have made it an open, environment for them to come talk to you, sometimes it's easier if they're talking to someone else that's not as close, because sometimes they don't want to let you down. It's not that they don't feel like they can't talk to you. They just don't want to disappoint you. Even though in your mind, you're like, you're not going to disappoint me. This is something we're talking about all the time. I just want for you to be supported. I want for you to be informed. But at the same time, it's not like I'm like, hell yeah, go do that. Yep, absolutely. No, my job is to provide you with information. Support,
Okay.
Unconditional regard.
Okay, so then the question, let's fast forward. You move into early adulthood, 21 and up. Where, like, if you don't know your body, how do you get to know your body and what you like? I know there's a lot of young girls who lose their virginities early and still really don't have a real understanding of sex. I mean, and look, our conversation, I mean, y'all know we've had this offline about the whole passing out thing.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. So,
We're not.
I'm just saying, but that's
yeah.
But what we're talking about is, because I feel like I'm listening to my body and I know my body. There are certain hangups and fears that I have. The closer that I get, but those are things that I think of your body as an entire sex organ. You know, that's why you have erogenous zone. So
Yeah.
you never know what turns you on. So I think that that's where it's like, how do you really get to know what you like and what you don't like?
You can know your body, but not be comfortable exploring. I can know my body, but that doesn't mean that I'm comfortable with touch
Damn, that was deep.
because I haven't taken the time to be able to get there. I may love myself. I may look good in the mirror. I may be able to look at myself, but am I able to touch myself in different areas? Sometimes people have a lot of hangups because they were shamed, they were picked on, they were talked about. We either did not address it, we didn't talk about it. Sometimes there's religious trauma there. Sometimes there is real trauma, you know, abuse and things like that, where that's just something that I haven't been able to bridge, right? So maybe my self-esteem is high. Maybe I'm like, yes, girl, I got it. I look good in this and everything like that. So I'm comfortable with my body and I love my body, but I'm not comfortable with body touch. Two different concepts. So being able to remove whatever the barrier is that is in your life that could potentially prevent you from being able to connect and actually fully embrace your entire sexual self so that you can truly communicate to somebody else. I like to be touched this way. I like it this way. I like it rubbed this way. I like it kissed this way, licked this way, whatever it is. And sometimes I think I shared this in the last podcast with body mapping, right? Before we body map anybody else, have we body mapped ourselves? And what does that look like?
Do you, Diana, Shay, do you feel like you know your bodies when as it pertains to the sex and what you enjoy and like? Or do you ever feel like you kind of discover something new? Like, oh, I didn't know I like that.
Yeah, you can discuss.
I'm pretty comfortable with my body. My mom, very early on, you know, when I was younger, like she was that mom where we had those conversations where, you know, she did, as Cortina was saying, you know, these are your body parts. We call it this, right? And if someone touches you here, you know, the whole spiel. But I was just very curious. You know, younger. I don't even know. I feel uncomfortable even saying it, but I mean, I was one that did touch myself, you know, younger. And I still do when I feel like it, you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, but I've always been comfortable. So yes, I know what I like. And I have always been that sexual partner, before marriage and during marriage. Like, no, I like this. I like that. I like to be touched here. Nope, that's not going to get it. Move to the left. Nope, move back to the right. Nope, move down a little bit. Hold on. Suck this toe. I mean, I'm just saying. You know, I'm her. So there's something to be said about that. You know, I think that you should embrace your body and know what you like, because if you don't know what you like, how can anybody really truly please you?
Yeah.
And if you
But
can't please yourself,
threshold to get there, to get comfortable
right,
with it.
you got to get comfortable. And in terms of the passing out thing,
Girl, stop. Look, I know. We done had the conversation. Look.
have you passed out yet?
No.
There you go.
I got to go all the way. Okay, answer the question now.
I would say there is definitely a such thing as starting way too young, doing things prematurely, right? Because of whatever it is, the company you're keeping, the influence of other people, you know, you're just starting out way too young, right? And then, and that would be the case. I mean, I had my first daughter when I was 16. And so having sex for pleasure, I can't even say now that I'm mature enough to know the difference, is that's what it was. I think it was just doing it because that was the thing to do. I didn't have a lot of partners, but still I was having sex, not knowing what it was that I was really searching for, what it was I was looking for. And then as you go through life, well, as I'm going through life, even after having children, still having sex or showing up in my relationship to please the other person, not necessarily being pleased or understanding what my pleasure points are, right? I mean, I told you guys, what was it last week, that I didn't even truly experience a real orgasm until I made it to my 30s. And so and I think about that gap, that time frame of post children and before really experiencing an orgasm. Like, I felt like I was a sexual being. I've always had this sex appeal, this sexual persona, like, this seductive nature in my relationship. So I always knew how to show up and be the boss and run the room. Like, I'm gonna get what I want and I'm gonna make sure, like, I had that type of thing, but still lacking the pleasure principle, the pleasure aspect of it. So now being on this side and understand, oh, wait, I like that. Move to the left, go to the right, do a little bit here, give me a little more pressure, let off a little bit. Now that I'm there, it's very different. And the one thing I must say, like, I'm so grateful that all of that spills over into this marriage, because I've been married before. I was married to my kid's father for 14 years. And then I was married to a woman for a very short amount of time, for 3 years. And even being in both of those things, my dominant personality allowed me to run the bedroom, but it still wasn't for me. It was for the person that I was with. You know what I mean? So now being on this side of it and being open enough to say, hey, you know what? I'm not just showing up for other people anymore. I'm showing up for me. I'm able to be open to say, no, this is for me. This is what I want. This is what I enjoy, that kind of thing. So, man, I just feel kind of real late in the game. If that makes sense, like, I feel late in the game, but all these experiences, it's like, what was that for? Like, I mean, it was good when it was good, but it just feels like such a waste of time now. If I had to just waited, you know what I mean? So I just, like, right now in this very moment, being very, very transparent and vulnerable, I encourage people to wait. Just wait, like, be kind and gentle with yourself and just navigate with ease, because you can't take it back, once you do.
You mean waiting with somebody else or waiting even by yourself?
No, I mean just waiting when it comes to experiencing sex prematurely with other people. But
with other people.
Exploring yourself and getting to know what you like. Like, take the time to really get to know you and your body. Allow that time that could come up later, feeling like wasted time and energy on other people. Use that time to get to know yourself. Like, identify what you like. You know what I mean?
Diana, you were saying something, but you're eating now. But
no, it's fine.
Oh, okay. You looked like you was going to say something.
Actually, was when Shay just said, starting sex early, and then not being really cognizant of what it is that you like as a woman, right? I had sex for the first time at 16.
I did too. I lost my virginity at 16.
And I just remember during that stage, like it was take it or leave it for me for a long time. Even though I knew I could pleasure myself, like, it really was take it or leave it. It really was for the other person. And I do think a lot of young adults today, we're having sex because it's the thing to do. I remember my friends were all having sex. I was the only one. And they was like, girl, ooh, it's going to be so good. And I was like, first of all, it hurt the first time, like, it was not good. It was not good. It was painful. And I still, even after, a while, I didn't like it. I just wasn't getting anything from it. And then when I got into my 20s, I will never forget. I took a year. I didn't have sex at all with another person, that is. And then, life goes on. And then even when I met my husband, there was a point in time where I just didn't have sex, because guess what? You do want to make sure that you're saving something. Like, you just don't want to give it away. If that makes sense, don't just give it away. Learn your body, learn what you like, understand that is a gift, whether male or female. That's a treasure that you have going there. But get to know yourself. And I veered off a little bit because I had multiple thoughts, but y'all get what I'm saying, right?
When I was in the 9th grade, I was a peer educator, and I put condom packets together. I educated on HIV, other communicable diseases. We talked about sex all the time, but guess what? I had no interest in it. So I was a virgin, but I was teaching people how to put on condoms and all kinds of stuff because I didn't care. And so that's that. And I know a lot of times people don't want to have these conversations with teens or other people because they feel like it's going to push them to do it. Well, hell, that was my job. And I still wasn't doing it because it was my choice, because I chose not to engage because I felt like I wasn't ready. I remember I had a boy in the 9th grade. He broke up with me because I didn't have sex with him. Okay, I'm not ready. When I did decide to have sex, I know it was a choice that I made because I was ready. It was something that I wanted to do. And I probably was the initiator more than likely. But
Go ahead,
I felt like at that time, I felt empowered because that was something that I wanted to do. Knowing all of the risk. Why? Because I had been exposed to it. Mm-hmm. Knowing what not to do, what to do. I understood consent. I understood coercion. I understood abuse. I was aware. So when I made the decision, and even as an adult today, I absolutely do not regret who, when, and where I decided to make my sexual debut, because I owned it. And so it wasn't like I was doing it because I want to keep somebody. Nope, absolutely not. They were like, "You sure? You sure?" Well, damn, you keep asking me if I'm sure. Now you're making me second guess myself. Like, I don't know if I'm sure. You keep asking me so many times, but I was aware, and I know that for some people that is not their experience. But I think because I had the information, I was able to abstain when I wasn't ready because I knew the consequences. I knew what could happen. I was aware of the risks that you are possibly taking when you engage in something like this. Emotionally, are you ready? Can you handle what might come as a result of this? And so that's why when I'm talking to parents, it's like, well, I don't want to encourage it. You having a conversation is not encouraging a behavior. You're providing information to them, because whether you have the conversation or not, if they're going to do it, they're going to do it. Yeah. You want for them to be better prepared if they are going to go down that road. Yeah. And they can talk to you. And if you say, hey, you think you might want birth control? Okay, what you might think this issue is, so that you can protect them, because they're now coming to you for information. So any parent that's thinking about, well, I don't, I just want to brush it off. I don't want to have that conversation because I don't want them to think that I'm promoting it. It's not about promotion. It's about information. People are able to make more informed decisions when they have information.
Do you think that this generation of children are more exploratory than, say, when we were, because of the information overload that's available to them? There's music that's out there that's influencing. There's far more influence around sex and sexuality and even sexual deviance and sexual behaviors.
Absolutely.
Is there, I mean, and I've not done any studies, but do you feel like that studies show that now, because there's information overload, that there's more promiscuity out there, or does it make them more safe because all of the information that's out there that they have access to?
I would say that there is one study that came out, I want to say maybe like 2 years ago, that said the prevalence in sex actually decreased. One of the things that hasn't changed is oftentimes, and this I see this among teenage boys, they say certain things, that they've done certain things, but the reality is they haven't. Mm-hmm. They're saying it to be able to fit in. So it looks like across the board that there is just teenage sex everywhere, when that is not necessarily the truth. And so understanding that, okay, society might be saying one thing, Because think about when you were growing up, right? I think I was like in middle school and I was listening to songs I know damn well, pop that pussy and everything like that. But I really wasn't doing it about singing the song. So to our parents, they probably was like, y'all really shouldn't be listening. That is some vulgar music.
Mm-hmm.
But that did not dictate the decisions that we made. Now, yeah, I'm not going to say that's everybody because there are some outliers out there. But when we're talking about the prevalence, they say about 55% of males and female teens, they've had sexual intercourse by the age 18.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a whole slab or section of individuals that are not doing anything, right? And so when we talk about intercourse, that's oral, anal, and vaginal. So any combination of those things at any age. Now you have to understand when they are doing research, we're also talking about intentional and unintentional. Like it wasn't my choice, but I am no longer a virgin. So all of those numbers are going into there. So I don't necessarily know the breakdown of consent and non-consent individuals within that study, but that is what they were saying. So if I'm looking at it and I'm not a part of the statistics, I'll be like, damn, these kids just out here, just having kids, but teenage pregnancy is down. Now, that doesn't correlate to the amount of sex that's being had. They might be more aware. They might be having more birth control. They might be using more condoms, right? The usage of barrier and hormonal methods might be up, which is protecting them from being able to have teenage pregnancies, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think this is a double-edged sword because with the information age, you have information. How are you using the information? Part of the information is now I have access to it. I know how to protect myself. I know the risk versus not knowing any damn thing and having this is what happened because nobody ever talked to me. I didn't know anything about it.
But in those statistics, you say, teenage pregnancy is down, but we know that there has been a jump in, non-heterosexual sexual activity, boys and boys, girls and girls. So in that study, is that included?
Right. I don't think it's a jump. I think it's exposure because what people do is what they're going to do.
I think it's a jump from my era.
No, was it openly accepted? Because sometimes, so this is the thing. Some people in their family, you got that uncle, we just don't talk about it. Now, Uncle May and everything like that. Like it's not hidden, it's not under the cover, right? Look at Bruce Jenner. He's always been he's always been that. But guess what? To fit society, he got married because that's what society said he had to do. Did that change who he was? No, he just conformed to what society rules were at that time. If you talk to a lot of older LGBTQ individuals, they knew, but they was Absolutely. Not, they wouldn't dare say anything. So when we're talking about the prevalence, we have to really take a look at what are we meaning by that? If you were to say the acceptance, the openness, absolutely, it has exploded. Why? Because we're a little bit more sensitive and accepting as a society than we were previously. I think people feel more comfortable with being able to explore because I ain't going to be ostracized at the family if I share that I'm curious. I think
but I also think, Cortina, that there is also a demographic of, I want to call them children, that they're just curious. We're living in a day and time where being bisexual is glamorized, right? And so you have demographics of girls who are just trying things to try it. Oh, because so-and-so is doing, I know this to be true from certain things that I have been.
Let me say this.
I'm not saying no names.
Let me say this.
Go ahead.
If you are into something, you are into it, right?
Not necessarily.
Wait. No, what I'm saying, let me finish. If I kiss a girl and I don't like it, I tried it. I didn't like it. I'm not into it. I'm probably not going to do it again. But guess what? That was part of my sexual exploration. I think that people didn't explore sexually because it was frowned upon. It was demonized. It was hell, fire, brimstone. You gonna bust hell wide open. You are sexually immoral and all of this other kind of stuff. Hell no, I ain't gonna try. That doesn't mean I don't have the urge, because if I'm curious, I'm curious. For example, I'm just gonna use me as an example. I was a cheerleader for the girls' basketball team. I was always around lesbians all the time, right? I find women attractive, but I could never see myself kissing one, right? So I never did it because I was never into it. Because again, I think if I was open, I wouldn't have a problem, but it never came to that, right? And so when we're thinking about fluidity, I think, and this is just me, this is not from anybody else, I think it's okay for you to explore so that you know what you like and what you don't like. How do I know what I don't like if I don't try it? Now, I'm not telling nobody, well, just go try it, and if you turn gay, then, because there's no such thing as turning gay. There's no such thing as turning lesbian. You are what you are. The only way that you figure out if you really like it or you don't like it, you have to engage in it. Now, that's your choice to say, if you like, nope, I don't want to turn my mind to that. I'm just going to stay here. I have questions, but I'm not going to go down that road. That's your right. But I think that now, because society is a little bit more accepting, and I say a little bit more because look at what's happening in the nation. Everybody's not okay with it. I think that children have more freedoms to be able to be more fluid and say, all right, yeah, that's cool. I did that. I don't know. I think this is okay. And let me not say children. There are a small percentage of people who do it because it's the thing to do. But you have to ask yourself, if I really don't like it, am I going to continue to engage in something that I really don't like? That's what you have to ask yourself. So if I just, I just fell into gayness or lesbianism, right? Am I really going to continue to stay and continue to engage in this sexual behavior if I honestly don't like it?
No.
No. You're not.
No.
You're going to try it, and then you're going to be like, yeah, that's not for me.
And I know we're over time, but I have to have now, because you just hopped on here and was like, no. But you said for a stint you were married.
Yep. Married to a woman, 3 years. Absolutely. Yes. And so and this, look, we gonna end up doing this again next week, because I'm telling you, this is just gonna keep going. I absolutely love everything. I like the questions that Diana asked triggered a lot of things that I think about. So here's the thing, and this is going to be super quick. The things that we are exposed, our kids, this generation is exposed to now, are the same exact things that we were exposed to when we were growing up. We just didn't have all these different loud platforms, but it was all there. When you think about Minnie Riperton, all the music that they listened to, Let's Get It On, like all this stuff, it was still sexualized. We just heard it differently because it was delivered differently. That's it. It was delivered with slow, sexy tunes instead of the all this stuff that we got now. And then on top of that, not to mention when it comes to LGBTQ, ABCYFG, all of it, guess what? It was there then. Nothing has changed. None of this stuff
I think
changed.
a lot has changed. It's more publicized on television. Every TV show that you watch. I do not recall as a child seeing any sexual activity on TV at all.
But the things that, again, it's all about exposure. The fact they had what was it? Showtime After Dark or HBO After Dark or whatever.
Yeah.
You had that special back room when you went to Blockbuster, right? You had all these things.
Yeah.
They were just kept away
Are you
from
talking about
children. You had
porn tapes, things like that?
yes, all of it was there. All of it was there. When you go look at vintage porn, guess what? Vintage porn, you're gonna see same sexual, like
I get that, but what I'm saying is it's more in the faces of our youth right now.
right. That so
When you look at television, it is everywhere. There's no barriers at all. Whereas, at least from my, in
that's
my
true.
age range, we did not see that. Sometimes, I'm gonna be honest, it's a little much for me, and I'm not homophobic.
Well, we definitely
By
don't have
no
to carry
means.
this over because I got a
Oh,
whole
right.
soapbox
Yeah, this is a whole thing
for that when we talk about, because if I feel to my core that this is who I am, why is it okay for me? Everybody like, oh my God, they're kissing, man and woman. This is so cute. But then you see two women kissing, like, oh, this is too much. A kiss is a kiss. That's not going to turn anybody gay, right? Because you have individuals who have never been straight a day in their life who grew up with a father and a mother. That did not sway them in any way to be straight, because that's not me. Or you have kids who grow up with two dads, two moms. They're like, that ain't me. I end up marrying a female. Not me, but whoever the child is.
What I feel is happening right now is that our generation of when we were growing up, again, and I'm on the victim side because I deal with a lot of sexual trauma, like people that have been victims of sexual trauma, right? Those cousins that used to come for the summer and y'all end up playing mama and daddy and all those things, or the uncles and aunts that come through and say, don't tell nobody, I'm gonna beat you up, or don't tell nobody, this our little secret. Those things, people have allowed themselves to live out loud beyond their trauma, to be okay with the things that happen to them. And then what's happened, you've got this little small group of people that have said, oh, that looks like fun, let me go do that, not realizing what you're doing is living out someone else's traumatic experience. They haven't found a way to deal with their trauma. So because they choose to embrace this way to say, you know what, okay, I'm no longer going to be a victim. I'm going to allow myself to live out loud, but I love women or I love men. Well, they still haven't even wrapped their mind around the concept. They were a victim. You were victimized. And so you decided to stay in this place instead of telling someone, getting some help. And now the person that's looking at you as a role model, now they're living out loud. So this thing is contagious. It's called a generational curse for a reason. And I'm not saying everybody is in that box of living in a generational curse, but this is a part of what's happening in our society. People are living out loud in their trauma and haven't owned the fact that, wait a minute, you know what? My cousin used to come to the house and every time she came, she touched me. And that was my story. So I get older and I find myself, I think people are beautiful. I'm openly able to say other women are beautiful. But what I did not realize is that when I found a sexual attraction to a woman, I started to remember that I was victimized by a cousin that used to come for the summertime. And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. So now I find myself, I'm already out here in the middle of the street playing with this girl. Now I'm out here, but then I'm in this marriage with this woman, and beautiful person. Don't get me wrong. I won't hold her in that. And she loved me like crazy. But the problem is, wait a minute, I'm out of alignment. I don't like this. I don't like this. I need something more. This emotional back and forth thing just ain't, the math ain't mathing. This is not for me. I need something bigger than me, stronger than me. We trying to move a couch. I hurt my back and you can't lift it because you 5'3". Like, what we doing? We're out of alignment. And so I was like, wait a minute. You know what? Wait a minute. I'm remembering something happened to me. And I went to go see somebody to talk about it. I'm like, oh, I'm living out loud. I'm living this trauma out loud. And now I've got to go back and I've got to right this wrong because I can't stay here like this. I love you. I'm sorry. Thank you for your time, but we can't do this. And
but I think also understanding orientation.
Absolutely.
What defines my orientation? You have your romantic orientation. That's who I fall in love with. That's who I want to have my life with. That's who I connect with emotionally. And then you have your erotic orientation. That's who I want to have sex with. That's who I fantasize about. That's who I want to be sexually intimate with, right? And those don't always align. Sometimes I may have an emotional or orientation to women and maybe a sexual orientation to men, and it's like, what the hell is going on? Or a mixture of the two. And so that's why everything is on a continuum and on a spectrum, right? You have heterosexual here, and all the way at the other end of the spectrum is I'm dating the same sex and everything in between. Right? And so that's how you're able to move through the cycle when you're trying to figure out, damn, what the hell? So that's why I give the orientation scale to some people, because I want to show them, because you got to look at who do you spend most of your time with. Sometimes men, they take the scale, they be like, oh man, this don't saying that I'm oriented to males. You are. You go football with them, you go golf with them, you spend most of your time with men. You are oriented to men. That does not mean you want to have sex with them, but it's a part of the orientation, who you like to, who you enjoy being around. And so I think it's about educating people so they truly understand how you look at orientation, and it's not black and white.
Yeah, Lord, this is super deep. So let's do the round robin. Shay, where can everybody find you at?
I am on Instagram at The Culture of Courage. You can also find me on my website, www.thecultureofcourage.com.
All right. And Diana Richardson Philippus.
You can find me at Diana Richardson Philippus, all social media platforms. You can also reach out to me if you would like to reach me directly at DianaRichardsonPhilippus.com.
And Dr. Lewis.
You can find me at The Girlfriend Therapist on all social media platforms. And you can find me at The Noir, Noir Center on all social media platforms as well.
And you can find me on all social media platforms at IAMDRP, GURLEY. I am Dr. P. Gurley. And of course, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Tell you, these conversations be on one, like, oh, okay. You know, if we're going to have to post our drinks, the drink for tonight online, just in case anybody feeling a little spicy tonight.
I know that's right. Get you a cup.
Or spicy over the weekend. You might want to linger it over the weekend. But we thank you so much for tuning in. Hit that subscribe button. You can also go back and listen to all of the other 7 seasons that exist for this podcast. Always grateful for everyone to tune in. And on that note, cheers. We'll see y'all next week.
This is Herspiration Happy Hour.